I am a GamerGate supporter. This is something that people are incredibly reluctant to say because they're afraid of being met with accusations of being misogynists, bigots, evil, or even terrorists. A lot of people who support the movement want to fight for journalistic integrity, fighting corruption, cronyism, and collusion, as well as personal agendas being injected into what should be objective, non-biased reviews, but feel that they have to tackle these accusations first. It's distracting both sides from the real issues. I often hear, well, the GamerGate name has been soiled, so you should just make a new name or not associate with them. The reason I'm so willing to stick by GamerGate despite its reputation is that every side has its bad apples. To say an incredibly small handful of people who break away and do something that GamerGate has not only never endorsed, but openly condemned somehow represents the entirety of the movement is incredibly absurd. Anyone trying to associate with GamerGate that has the intention to harass or send death threats to anyone are immediately condemned or reported to moderators by people within GamerGate. GamerGate threads on 8chan, even the ones that used to be on 4chan, told people do not harass or threaten anyone, report and condemn anyone who does on site. They are almost always the first people to try to stop death threats or information of doxing from spreading, yet anti-GamerGate people publicize it like crazy as if it's a badge of honor, and not putting said victims in jeopardy by drawing more attention towards them. So when someone slanders us and spreads outright lies about who we are, what we do, and what we stand for, you tell us, oh well, what can you do, just abandon ship? Sorry, I don't think that's fair to us. Especially since doing so is agreeing to their accusations and confirming them, which are completely untrue. Think about it like this. If someone lied to everyone and said, that person hit me, you don't just buckle and say sorry because defending yourself is just too much work. What you do is you stand your ground, defend your integrity, and tell them I did not hit this person. If GamerGate isn't the proper platform to talk about corruption in the game industry, I want these people to tell me what is. Where do I go to demand answers from investors in Fez also being judges at IndieCade and IGF handing out awards to Phil Fish? Where do I go to talk about friends of Anthony Birch giving his Borderlands 2 DLC positive reviews? Where do I go to talk about Patricia Hernandez giving positive press to relationship partners and close friends, recommending their games without disclosing that information to the public so they can use their discretion to determine whether or not she's worth listening to? Where do I go to talk about game developers who feel scared of getting fired or blacklisted if they don't push a certain agenda? Where do I go to talk about the mailing list Game Journal Pros and how it's used to spin narratives? Where do I go to express my very worries about the people who control our information? Our options are pretty limited considering that Reddit, NeoGAF, and even 4chan went out of their way to censor discussion. We've already seen it. If they don't like you or they feel threatened, they will do everything they can to twist your message and shut you out. I am working on getting into game development, so this is all an immediate concern to me. Even if I wasn't a game developer, I believe consumers and viewers deserve far better than this. If there's anything I know about this whole GamerGate thing, is that it's not going away quietly. This has been going on for almost 2 months now. On the internet, that's practically millennia. You're lucky if a story lasts on the internet for a few days, and if it lasts for months on top of people going out of their way to censor discussion or snuff it out, that's remarkable. This is the first time I recall something about the internet reaching mainstream news stations without already being outdated by the time they reported on it. This is truly a topic people care passionately about and it won't go away quietly. Trying to distract us with accusations of being hateful or awful people is not going to make it go away. Neither will all the anti-GamerGate tags that crash and burn no matter how many Indonesian bots you use. Emails are still being sent and advertisers are still pulling from game journalism websites that are up to their necks in shady business practices and lashing out at their audience. You know, after this whole video, maybe I should be saying keep up the accusations instead, because it's only distracting the anti-GamerGate people and journalists, not us.